Alright, today I'm going to show you how to install a torque converter in your automatic transmission. I don't know the transmission code for these things, but these transmissions come in 370Zs and in rear wheel drive G37s. I believe those are the only two that these particular ones come in, but I'm not exactly sure. I know that the 370Z, especially certain models of the 350Z, they share some same components, but I don't know for sure about the transmission. That's something you'd have to investigate. But I am going to show you how to install this torque converter in the automatic transmission, and this is just going to be part of a larger series of videos on how to reattach it then to the VQ37 engine, and then how to reinstall a VQ37 engine as well. I'm going to try to make these videos more short and sweet and to the point instead of rambling on as much as I have in some of my other videos. So first we're going to add some transmission fluid into this. I want to say maybe like a half a quart or something like that. Just going to put a little bit in. But once you actually get it installed and you have fluid into the transmission, it'll automatically pump in. I'm just trying to keep it from being completely dry because I had removed all of mine whenever I had pulled it out of the car. So that's why I'm going to put some more in it. That way it's not completely dry, and then I'm going to put some more in the transmission. So I'm going to put the transmission back up on my transmission jack. That way it'll help line up with the engine a little bit better. That'll be good for now. I'm gonna have to get this cleaned up here. Should have used a funnel. Alright, all nice and cleaned up. Now we're gonna go ahead and put this in our transmission. It seems straightforward enough, but what I would like to point out is there's a lot of people that don't realize that the back ring has to actually get pushed back in behind this seal. And if it doesn't, you're not going to get your torque converter far enough in, and it's gonna go up against your flex plate here, and you're gonna end up snapping something off, most likely one of your smaller bolts on your upper oil pan, and that thing is a pain to replace. And so what'll happen is the torque converter won't be seated in far enough. So you're gonna have a gap of probably about maybe half an inch, quarter of an inch, something like that, from the transmission to being able to mount up to the engine block. And what happens is a lot of people think that they can just maneuver it or tighten it down because maybe something's just not quite right enough, and they snap part of that oil pan. So I'm going to show you how far it actually has to make it in to that for that to not happen. Okay, now that we got some oil in our torque converter, let's take a look at something here. Whenever you look inside around the shaft, you're going to see that there are flat spots inside there, okay? There are two flat sides, one on each side, and then it's rounded the rest of the way. If you take note on the back side here, how we have our two flat spots. We need to make sure that we line up our flat spots with the internal flat spots in there first, and then once we have that seated in there, then we're going to go ahead and rotate the torque converter so that the lines are to the north and the south. So let's go ahead and get this installed. And so mine are just a little turned. You're gonna feel the first set, and then it'll feel almost like there's 2 or 3 clicks, or like whenever you get it on, because like when you first get on there, it's really wobbly. And because I'm on the transmission, it'll be easier to try to line those up. And there, and you're gonna push back into it, and you're gonna feel that you're now lined up with those 2 flat spots, and because it's gonna be kind of solid. And you should actually be, if you're in gear technically, you will have it rotating the output shaft. Now, once you're here, you're still not quite done. You wanna get these fairly lined up. So you can sort of get an idea. All right, now that's about how far back into the bell housing we should be sitting. If you don't have it all the way back, it's going to be somewhere, probably out to somewhere around in this area, whereas now it's all the way back into here. So you definitely want to make sure you have it seated all the way back, and then you'll want to make sure these are somewhat close to straight up and down. As we see, you can rotate it while it's still in there, but that should be pretty close enough that I can get back from behind the dust shield to tighten these up. If you found this video informative, please hit the like button, comment, subscribe. I'd appreciate it.